love to know from which country you are joining. My name is Maryam Eqan, and I'm from Pakistan. And today, this session is about United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification, which is one among the series of environmental law capacity building sessions. So thank you so much for being here. And thank you so much, Sansa. No worries, it happens. So today we are going to talk about UNCCD, which is a very interesting convention. And you know what? That this convention is considered to be a successful convention as compared to the other 1992 conventions. So let's dig in that what it is all about, and let's explore more about it. Okay, so today we are going to learn that introduction to UNCCD, what is desertification, what are the impacts of desertification, what is the role of UNCCD, and what are the strategic objectives and UNCCD. I would love to know that when you think about land, what comes to your mind? What do you think when you think about the word land? Like when I think about land, or when I hear the word land, so I always think of a medium which provide us resources. I think of a medium that support life. So what do you think when you hear this word life? Of course, because it is the medium which is supporting a lot of life, not only animals, not only humans, but a total, a biosphere. It is supporting the whole biosphere. So thank you so much, Samson. Anybody else who want to share their opinion, you can always share it in the chat. Okay. So according to Aldo Leopold, which is who is a very famous American philosopher and a naturalist, and he is considered as one among the father of wildlife ecology. He said that land is not merely soil; it is a fountain of energy flowing through a circuit of soils, plants, and animals, which is very interesting. This statement is a complete statement itself. So moving forward, let's see the introduction. Let's see the introduction to UNCCD. Give me a second. Okay, no worries. So what is UNCCD, how it works? So UNCCD is basically an international treaty that was established in 1994. The objective of this convention is to combat desertification, land degradation, and drought. And it also covers because land is something that is linked to social and poverty sector. So it is linked, this convention also work in that domain as well. And it promotes the sustainable management of land and helps the community to achieve long-term economic growth and their social development. This convention has 196 countries, including the European Union, and which total makes up 199 parties. And this convention, these parties are committed to implement the UNCCD convention strategic objectives, among which one is the land degradation neutrality, which we will learn in more detail in the upcoming slide. UNCCD works with the national governments, with the other civil service organization and all other stakeholders, and it implements the convention at all levels from local to international. It also provides technical assistance, capacity building, and the financial support for the sustainable land use practices and drought mitigation measures. So what is desertification? So desertification is basically a process in which a fertile land becomes desert or it becomes barren due to natural or human-induced factors. It might include physical and socio-economic factors, and which might be climate change, deforestation, or unsustainable land use practices, or the population upsurge. If we see about with desertification, so desertification has a lot of impacts, and it has much negative impacts as well, which we will learn in more detail in the upcoming slide. So what are the impacts of desertification? Here it is. So desertification leads to the loss of topsoil. It causes soil erosion. It also reduces the ability of ecosystem to support plant and animal life, which leads to loss of biodiversity. It also triggers water scarcity. Desertification also triggers water scarcity. So you will always find a desertified land to be water scarce as well, because it is water scarcity and desertification, which it goes hand in hand. Then climate change, because desertification reduces the ability of ecosystem to store carbon. And also desertification triggers a lot of global issues, which includes environmental issues, social issues, and economical impacts. Next we have, okay, so Please do share in chat that have you or your friends or your relatives ever witnessed the impacts of desertification, or you might have heard about desertification in your country. You might have heard that, yep, something is happening around. Like if I talk about myself, so I have lived in an area which is called Karachi, which is a coastal area of my country. And I have seen that my mother used to roam around the streets in her teenage with a lot of plants on both sides of the streets. But when I was growing up and I was in my teenage, so I found out that uh, there was no trees. And while playing, we have to find a shade of a concrete jungle instead of a real urban jungle to find shade and to sit in peace. So this was my experience in Karachi when it was heading up to desertification. Also, I have seen a drought in my country, and it was the area of southern Punjab and Sindh, which was affected by drought, and a lot of citizens of Pakistan were affected with no water and lack of food for themselves. So if you have ever witnessed it, do let me know in the chat. So might be it would be a great thing to learn for us as well. Then what is the role of desertification? We have seen that desertification is here. There are a lot of impacts of desertification. What do you think that the role of desertification? So Asiles has shared the expansion of urban buildings and factories in his hometown, Sanaz in Yemen. And he's saying that it was extremely affecting all of the nice gardens and farms around the cities. So yeah, I agree. And this is, so, it is a very sort of, it gives you an anxiety as well, which we can discuss some other time, but it gives you an anxiety, an environmental anxiety when you see things happening around you like this. Thank you, Asil, for sharing your experience. So the role of UNCCD is that United Nations Convention to combat desertification and drought promotes sustainable land management. It provides technical assistance and capacity building. It mobilizes the financial resources. Financial resources for whom? Financial resources for the people who want, for the countries, for the parties, and for the organization who want to work for sustainable land use practices and to mitigate drought in their countries and their regions. It also fosters international corporations. It monitor and evaluate progress in the field of desertification and land restoration and drought mitigation. It also raises awareness for us and advocate for policy change. And when we talk about UNCCD strategic objectives, we see that the objectives of UNCCD are very clear and very much aligned with their agenda. Like they want to improve the livelihoods of affected population. They want to increase the resilience of ecosystem and communities. They generate global environmental benefits. They want to mobilize resources at all levels, from national, from local to international, every level. They strengthen the science policy interface, which is a very popular thing that has happened in the UNCCD history as well. They improve the knowledge base and promote participation and cooperation every time. And I am myself witnessed this thing with UNCCD, because UNCCD always comes up with great ideas to include people who are working on land, and especially women, and you can always find good things happening, because now they have opened, I guess, Her Land initiative, in which you can share your stories that how you are helping the land. And last year, they also did something like this, because they were having COP15 back last year. And last year, they had their UNCCD gender division, which was collecting the women-led initiatives for lands. And I was one among the 14 women faces who are working for the land protection, because I was actually growing and farming without land in my region. So on that basis, I was one among the 14 faces for the UNCCD gender, and I was displayed in COP15 as well. COP15 of UNCCD, because you have another COP15 for biodiversity as well. So what is the UNCCD's impact? We see a lot of we see that there is a lot of things happening in UNCCD. UNCCD is working, they have their agenda, and what actually they are doing. So what is their impact? So UNCCD is a global voice for land. They promote practices that avoid, reduce, and reverse land degradation, and are driving forces behind Sustainable Development Goals 15, SDG 15, which is life on land. And another thing they're working on is land degradation neutrality, which we are going to discuss as well. So four main impacts which I have collected is global land restoration footprint, land degradation neutrality, Land for Life program, and GLO2, which is Global Land Outlook, second edition. So the first one is Global Land Restoration Footprint. It is a global initiative that identifies and monitors the extent and effectiveness of land restoration efforts around the world. It is happening with the collaboration of UNCCD, IUCN, and WRI, and they have multiple supporting partners as well. They use remote sensing and machine learning for their data, and they provide a comprehensive picture of land restoration efforts that are being conducted in different areas of the people who are doing the land restoration. And it supports the monitoring and reporting requirements of the UNCCD's land degradation neutrality targets as well. So here you can see this is the map on their website, and it displays the restoration footprint and what country and what region is doing what part for the land restoration, and you can always find it on their website. I think that is uncc.itl or intl. It is something like that, but you can always search. Then we have land degradation neutrality, which is all in the air when we talk about UNCCD. So LDN is a global target that all the partner signees are required to do to achieve a balance between the amount of land being degraded and the amount of land being restored. Let me know when you read the statement one, what do you think about it? It is a right thing to do or not? Like, it's more, the LDN is more like net positive. It's more like zero carbon. It's more like net zero. I think you might have heard about those statements. And the one we now have is biodiversity offset. So LDN is more like that, in my opinion. So what do you think about it? When you read the first statement, what do you think? Or do you think that it is right to do, or it is not? Secondly, LDN promotes a restoration of degraded land, and it takes into account the ecological, social, and economical factors, and which affects both the ecosystem and human well-being. LDN requires a coordinated efforts from governments and civil society organization and the private sector, and everybody is doing their part as well. And UNCCD provides a framework for monitoring the progress as well, like which country is doing what to achieve the land neutrality and how they're doing it. So it provides a framework for that as well. So you can find more here. Might be you will get the slides. The working group will get the slides, of course. And if you want the slides, you can always email us. So we will send you the link as well. And you can find more detail about LDN here in the link, which is attached below. Then we have Land for Life program. The Land for Life program is a global initiative which is aimed at promoting sustainable land use and combating land degradation. It was launched in 2011 by UNCCD, and it is adopted by over 100 countries, which is a great success for me, because if we have around 200 countries in total, it is adopted by 50%, but still we need more people to be the part of it. And this program focuses on implementing sustainable land management practices, restoring degraded lands, and promoting sustainable livelihoods for communities. Its goal is to include improving food security, reducing poverty. You will see that here a lot of times when it comes to land, you will see the poverty sector here, because land is providing the social goods to the people. Like it is providing the food, it is providing the jobs, it is providing the people to survive. So that's why when it comes to the land restoration, it is always reducing the poverty as well. And it also mitigates the effect of climate change. Land for Life program is a key component of UN SDG, and it contributes to several targets. As you might have heard, that SDGs, all 17 SDGs are very much interlinked, and one SDG can provide the can help to achieve the targets of the other SDG as well. This is what it is doing. You can find more on the link I have shared at the bottom of the slide. Then we have Global Land Outlook, second edition, GLO2, which is a very comprehensive report on land restoration for recovery and resilience. And this report highlights the importance of reducing and reversing land degradation. And moreover, that it enables the factors and diverse pathways which are outlined in this report to help countries and communities to achieve land restoration goals. Moreover, land restoration, according to this report, land restoration can create new livelihood and development opportunities by the way we uses the land resources. Also, GLO2 provide the guidance for designing and implementing effective land restoration strategies for sustainable development. And these are, now we are discussing some journal achievements of UNCCD, from one of the which is land degradation neutrality, which we have discussed already. And we see that more than 100 countries are a part of it, and they are committed to submit their LDN targets to UNCCD. Then we have Drought Initiative, which was launched in 2013, and it addresses the frequency and severity of drought. And this initiative has helped over 20 countries till now to develop national drought plans and policies. Let me know that if your country has a drought plan as well, or have you ever heard about a drought plan? We have seen climate change policies, climate change actions, and national action plans, and a lot of things. So do you have a drought plan for your country? Because I have searched for my country and I have found a drought plan, but it is not a very long term. I found it for a very short term, and it is based on the disaster we had related to drought and desertification in Pakistan, in southern Punjab and Sindh. So it is more for that. But if you have a comprehensive drought plan or policies, so do share it here. And if you haven't heard about it, so go search about it for your national, at your national level. Then we have Great Green Wall. So UNCCD is supporting the Great Green Wall initiative, which aims to plant a wall of trees across the Sahel region of Africa. And it is aimed to combat desertification and improve the livelihood of communities. And as of 2021, the initiative has planted over 30 million trees and created over 10,000 jobs. But according to my research, I haven't updated it here, but I have heard that jobs have reached 30,000 till now, but I have to confirm it before writing it here. So I had the data of 2021, so I just mentioned that. Then we have land restoration. The UNCCD also support land restoration efforts. And since this LDN, which has been adopted, so fund has mobilized over 500 million for land restoration projects. Then we have land-based climate action. And in this, UNCCD recognized the importance of land-based climate action, which helps to reduce the greenhouse gas emissions and mitigate climate change. And over 110 countries have introduced land-based mitigation measures in their NDCs under the Paris Agreement. Then sustainable land management, UNCCD also works for that. And its Global Land Outlook is a report that is a very comprehensive report you can read, and it is a biennial report. And the latest edition was published in 2021, sorry, and it highlights the urgent need for action to address the current rate of land degradation and biodiversity loss. And you can find the 10 years data of UNCCD, that what are the achievements of UNCCD, on the link which I have attached in the slide below. And thank you so much for